Hey, welcome back. Thanks for being with me today. I hope your week's going great and you're getting a lot accomplished. Thanks for all the feedback on the video yesterday. Yesterday, I kind of switched things up and talked more towards some entrepreneurial things, small business things, talked on pricing, and I had a lot of great feedback and asking for more of that. So I will mix that in a lot more than I have been, and just really appreciate that feedback. Today, what I want to talk about, some things that I read in a book a long time ago. It's a book called Fish. If you're in a management position, I strongly recommend reading it. It's about creating a good atmosphere and good morale and stuff like that in a workplace. It's based on a story around a place called Pike's Place Fish Market. I visited there when I was in Seattle. It's a really cool place, but there's a great message behind it. They've got workbooks you can get with it and everything. So great book. I strongly recommend it. I'll put the link in the show notes so that you can get that book if you'd like. But one of the things that I really got out of that book was what they talk about is that you have the ability to choose your attitude. And my kids, I often use this with my kids if they're in a bad mood or they're unhappy about something. I always tell them, it's your opportunity to choose how you're going to feel, how you're going to act, those sort of things. It's probably not the best time when they're in a bad mood to talk about that, but that's usually when I talk about it. But the reason I want to talk about that is because when we talk about any of our things, our energy, our mental, our physical, our emotional states, all those different things, our happiness, our sadness, that we have the option to choose what those are. Brendon Burchard talks about energy the same way. He says, we don't have energy more than a power plant has energy. A power plant doesn't have energy. It transmits and it transforms energy and distributes it, but we're the same thing. So we've got to look at things that way. And in the same regard, you don't have happiness, you don't have sadness. Rather, you transform your thoughts and those things into feelings that create that happiness or sadness. And so what that means is that you don't have to wait for happiness. You don't have to wait for joy. You don't have to wait for motivation. All those things that you need to bring into your life, you've got to be able to create the habits that you can trigger them and that you can choose to have those things. And I say habits because emotions do get involved. And, we're in the habit of when we get emotionally involved in something that's not going right, we have the go on the negative slide, and obviously we're not happy and stuff like that. It's hard to have something bad happen and be happy about it, obviously. But when we're looking to be motivated, to be energetic, those sort of things, we need to create the habits that we can recognize that and we choose how we're going to be. I remember taking a Tony Robbins course and he was talking about something similar, and what he said to do, he says, okay, I want you to slump your shoulders. I want you to put your head down. And I want you to feel sad. You have the facial emotions behind it and everything. And then he said, all right, now I want you to sit up straight and try this. Sit up straight, pull your shoulders back, good posture, look up, put your chin up, look up towards the ceiling, put a big smile on your face and feel sad. It's really hard to do. It's not something that you can just put your body in those positions and feel sad. And so what that tells us is there's a lot of opportunity to decide how we're going to do things like that and how it's going to impact us. So you don't have to have sadness. You can transform it into something else. When you're put in different situations and you're feeling that sadness come on, what can you do that's a trigger to help you get away from that? And we need to look at all the options that we have for all those different things. What is it we need to do when we feel overwhelmed? What is it we need to do when we feel like we need some motivation, when we feel like we need some happiness in our life? And so that's what I just wanted to talk about, and I want you to practice those things, and I'd love to hear how it goes for you guys. And give it some time. It's not something that's easy to do. As I mentioned earlier, when something happens that makes you sad, it's not real easy to just say, okay, I'm going to be happy now. And, obviously there's legitimate reasons to be sad and those sort of things, but when you need to be in a situation where you need to trigger that happiness, where you need to trigger energy or motivation, I just want you to recognize that that's an ability that you have. And so I hope that you'll be able to practice these and go forward with them. And it's the same thing with confidence. I was listening to a podcast this morning about confidence, and it's talking about all the things that you need to be able to do to be able to develop confidence. And in my momentum series, the very first module is about confidence and how to develop that confidence. So if you want to go deeper into that area, go to jeffheggie.com and check out that momentum series. But again, confidence doesn't have to be based on something that you're actually doing or have done, or what other people perceive that you've done or accomplished. And it needs to be something that you can develop in your mind as well. Just like you can decide to be happy, you can decide to be confident. And your mind doesn't know the difference between something that you have done and something that you vividly imagined. And so we can go into more of those in detail in other episodes, but they all kind of tie in. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up and talk about that. But thank you for being with me. I hope these have been useful for you. I'm actually going to be developing a webpage that people can subscribe to, so that these will come out in a daily email, so that if you want to get these on a daily basis, that you can do that. So if that's the case that you want that, go to jeffheggie.com in the next little bit, and I'll have something on there that you can subscribe to this. But thanks again for being with me, and please continue to give me the feedback on these episodes, on the Jeff and Heidi Show podcast, and on the Momentum series. I love to hear all that feedback. So thank you. Have a great, productive day, and finish the week off strong. See ya.